And howdy, everyone. Welcome to the Other Books installment 10. Howdy, GR. Howdy, Lynn.
Hello.
Did you all have a good vacation while I was jet setting in the ancient Honda CRV?
It was boring. It was boring, and I missed my studies because my other people were gone too. So,
Oh, no. Bummer. Well, today we are going to continue on in the book of Jasher with chapters 31, 32, and 33. But as usual, before we do that, let's go ahead and pray in. Heavenly Father, thank you very much for giving us this time to come together to study the book of Jasher, which is talked about in Scripture, and we thank you for that. And we would just ask for you to pour out your spirit of discernment, knowledge, and understanding on everybody that's here now and in the future, that we get the information from this that you need us to have and be able to correlate it with the canon and other books that we have available to us. Again, we want to thank you for the economic relief that you have given people and the healing that you have given people. And we just ask for that to continue. And for those that you would draw out of the system, we would ask that you let them find us so that they have a place to land safely. And we thank you for that. Bless you in Jesus Yeshua's name. Amen. Okay. Let's do the share aware. Oh, no. There we go. They changed all the buttons on me. What can you do? Can't do anything about it. There, we got the first part done. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Jasher chapter 31. And in the 7th year, Jacob's service, which he served Laban, was completed. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for the days of my service are fulfilled. And Laban did so. And Laban and Jacob assembled all the people of that place, and they made a feast. And in the evening, Laban came to the house, and afterward Jacob came there with the people of the feast, and Laban extinguished all the lights that there were in the house. And Jacob said unto Laban, Wherefore dost thou do this thing unto us? And Laban answered, Such is our custom to act in this land. Afterward, Laban took his daughter Leah, and he brought her to Jacob, and he came to her, and Jacob did not know that she was Leah. And Laban gave his daughter Leah, his maid Zilpah, for a handmaid. And all the people at the feast knew what Laban had done to Jacob, but they did not tell the thing to Jacob. And all the neighbors came that night to Jacob's house, and they ate and drank and rejoiced, and played before Leah upon timbrels and with dances, and they responded before Jacob, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. And Jacob heard their words, but did not understand their meaning. But he thought such might be their custom in this land. And the neighbors spoke these words before Jacob during the night, and all the lights that were in the house Laban had that night extinguished. And in the morning, when the daylight appeared, Jacob turned to his wife, and he saw, and behold, it was Leah that had been lying in his bosom. And Jacob said, Behold, now I know what the neighbors said last night. Hallelujah, they said, and I knew it not. And Jacob called unto Laban and said unto him, What is this that thou didst unto me? Surely I served thee for Rachel, and why didst thou deceive me, and didst give me Leah? And Laban answered Jacob, saying, Not so is it done in our place to give the younger before the elder. Now, therefore, if thou desirest to take her sister likewise, and take her unto thee for the service which thou wilt serve me for another 7 years. And Jacob did so, and he also took Rachel for a wife, and he served Laban 7 years more. And Jacob also came to Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah. And Laban gave her his maid Bilhah for a handmaid. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, the Lord opened her womb, and she conceived and bare Jacob 4 sons in those days. And these are their names, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. And she afterward left bearing. And at that time Rachel was barren, and she had no offspring. And Rachel envied her sister Leah. And when Rachel saw that she bare no children to Jacob, she took her handmaid Bilhah, and she bare Jacob 2 sons, Dan and Naphtali. And when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she also took her handmaid Zilpah, and she gave her to Jacob for a wife. And Jacob also came to Zilpah, and she also bare Jacob 2 sons, Gad and Asher. And Leah again conceived and bare Jacob in those days 2 sons and 1 daughter. And these are their names, Issachar, Zebulun, and their sister Dinah. And Rachel was still barren in those days. And Rachel prayed unto the Lord at that time. And she said, O Lord God, remember me and visit me. I beseech thee, for now my husband will cast me off, for I have borne him no children. Now, O Lord God, hear my supplication before thee, and see my affliction, and give me children like one of the handmaids, that I may no more bear my reproach. And God heard her and opened her womb, and Rachel conceived and bare a son. And she said, the Lord has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, saying, May the Lord add to me another son. And Jacob was 91 years old when she bare him. At that time, Jacob's mother, Rebekah, sent her nurse Deborah, the daughter of Uz, and 2 of Isaac's servants unto Jacob. And they came to Jacob and to Haran, and they said unto him, Rebekah has sent us to thee, that thou shalt return to thy father's house, to the land of Canaan. And Jacob hearkened unto them in this which his mother had spoken. At that time, the other 7 years which Jacob served Laban for Rachel were completed, and it was at the end of 14 years that he had dwelt in Haran. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wives, and send me away, that I may go to my land. For behold, my mother did send me from the land at Canaan, that I should return to my father's house. And Laban said unto him, Not so, I pray thee. If I have found favor in thy sight, do not leave me. Appoint me thy wages, and I will give them, and remain with me. And Jacob said unto him, This is what thou shalt give me for wages, that I shall this day pass through all thy flock, and take away from them every lamb that is speckled and spotted, and such as are brown amongst the sheep and amongst the goats. And if thou wilt do this thing for me, I will return and feed thy flock, and keep them as at first. And Laban did so. And Laban removed from his flock all that Jacob had said, and gave them to him. And Jacob placed all that he had removed from Laban's flock in the hands of his sons. And Jacob was feeding the remainder of Laban's flock. And when the servants of Isaac, which he had sent unto Jacob, saw that Jacob would not return with them to the land of Canaan to his father, then they went away from him, and they returned home to the land of Canaan. And Deborah remained with Jacob in Haran, and she did not return with the servants of Isaac to the land of Canaan. And Deborah resided with Jacob's wives and children in Haran. And Jacob served Laban 6 years longer. And when the sheep brought forth, Jacob removed from them such as were speckled and spotted, as he had determined with Laban. And Jacob did so at Laban's for 6 years. The man increased abundantly, and he had cattle and maidservants and men servants, camels and asses. And Jacob had 200 drove of cattle, and his cattle were of large size and of beautiful appearance, and were very productive. And all the families of the sons of men desired to get some of the cattle of Jacob, for they were exceedingly prosperous. And many of the sons of men came to procure some of Jacob's flock. And Jacob gave them a sheep for a manservant or a maidservant, or for an ass or a camel, or whatever Jacob desired from them, they gave him. And Jacob obtained riches and honor and possessions by means of these transactions with the sons of men, and the children of Laban envied him of this honor. And in the course of time, he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he acquired all his glory. And Jacob beheld him in those days as it had been before. And the Lord appeared to Jacob at the expiration of the 6 years, and said unto him, Arise, go forth out of this land, and return to the land of thy birthplace, and I will be with thee. And Jacob rose up at that time, and he mounted his children and wives, and all belonging to him upon camels. And he went to go forth to go to the land of Canaan to his father Isaac. And Laban did not know that Jacob had gone from him, for Laban had been that day sheep shearing. And Rachel stole
her father's images, and she took them and concealed them upon the camel upon which she sat, and she went on. And this is the manner of the images. In taking a man who was the firstborn and slaying him, and taking the hair off his head, and taking salt and salting the head, and anointing it in oil, then taking a small tablet of copper or a tablet of gold, and writing the name upon it, and placing the tablet under his tongue, and taking the head with the tablet under the tongue, and putting it in the house, and lighting up lights before it, and bowing down to it. And at the time when they bow down to it, it speaketh to them in all matters that they ask of it, through the power of the name which was written in it. And some make them in the figures of men of gold and silver, and go to them in times known to them. And the figures receive the influence of the stars, and tell them future things. And in this manner were the images which Rachel stole from her father. And Rachel stole these images which were her father's, in order that Laban might not know through them where Jacob had gone. And Laban came home and asked concerning Jacob and his household, and he was not to be found. And Laban sought his images to know where Jacob had gone, and he could not find them. And he went to some other images, and he inquired of them, and they told him that Jacob had fled from his father's house to the land of Canaan. And Laban rose up, and he took his brothers and all his servants, and he went forth and pursued Jacob, and he overtook him in Mount Gilead. And Laban said unto Jacob, What is this thou hast done to me, to flee and deceive me, and lead my daughters and their children as captives taken by the sword? And thou didst not suffer me to kiss them, and send them away with joy. And thou didst steal my gods, and didst go away. And Jacob answered Laban, saying, Because I was afraid, lest thou wouldst take thy daughter and just thy gods, he shall die. And Laban searched for the images, and he examined in all Jacob's tents and furniture, but could not find them. And Laban said unto Jacob, We will make a covenant together, and it shall be a testimony between me and thee. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or shalt take other wives besides my daughters, even God shall be a witness between me and thee in this matter. And they took stones and made a heap. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee. Therefore he called the name thereof Gilead. And Jacob and Laban offered sacrifice upon the mountain. They ate there by the heap, and they tarried in the mount all night. And Laban rose up early in the morning, and he wept with his daughters, and he kissed them, and he returned unto his place. And he hastened and sent off his son Beor, who was 17 years old, with Abikaroth, the son of Uz, the son of Nahor, and with them were 10 men. And they hastened and went past on the road before Jacob, and they came by another road to the land of Seir. And they came unto Esau and said unto him, Thus saith thy brother and relative, thy mother's brother Laban, the son of Bethuel, saying, Hast thou heard what Jacob thy brother has done unto me, who first came to me naked and bare? And I went to meet him, and brought him to my house with honor, and I made him great. And I gave him my 2 daughters for wives, and also 2 of my maids. And God blessed him on my account, and he increased abundantly, and had sons and daughters and maidservants. He has also an immense stock of flocks and herds, camels and asses, also silver and gold in abundance. And when he saw that his wealth increased, he left me, whilst I went to shear my sheep. And he rose up and fled in secrecy. And he lifted up his wives and children upon camels, and he led away all his cattle and property which he acquired in my land. And he lifted up his countenance to go to his father Isaac to the land of Canaan, and did not suffer me to kiss my daughters and their children. And he led my daughters captives, taken by the sword. And he also stole my gods, and he fled. And now I have left him in the mountain of the brook of Jabbok, and him and all belonging to him, he lacketh nothing. If it be thy wish to go to him, go then, and there wilt thou find him, and thou canst do unto him as thy soul desireth. And Laban's messengers came and told Esau all these things. And Esau heard all the words of Laban's messengers, and his anger was greatly kindled against Jacob. And he remembered his hatred, and his anger burned within him. And Esau hastened and took his children and servants and the souls of his household, being 60 men, and he went and assembled all the children of Seir the Horite and their people, in being 340 men, and took all this, a number of 400 men with drawn swords, and he went unto Jacob to smite him. And Esau divided this number into several parts, and he took the 60 men of his children and servants and the souls of his household as one head, and gave them in care of Eliphaz, his eldest son. And the remaining heads he gave to the care of the 6 sons of Seir the Horite. And he placed every man over his generations and children. And the whole of the camp went as it was, and Esau went amongst them toward Jacob. And he conducted them with speed. And Laban's messengers departed from Esau and went to the land of Canaan. And they came to the house of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And they told her, saying, Behold, thy son Esau has gone against his brother Jacob with 400 men, for he heard that he was coming. And he has gone to make war with him, and to smite him, and to take all that he has. And Rebekah hastened and sent 72 men from the servants of Isaac to meet Jacob on the road. For she said, Peradventure, Esau may make war in the war road when he meets him. And these messengers went on the road to meet Jacob, and they met him in the road of the brook on the opposite side of the brook at Jawok. And Jacob said, when he saw them, This camp is destined to me from God. And Jacob called the name of that place Machanaim. And Jacob knew all his father's people, and he kissed them and embraced them and came with them. And Jacob asked them concerning his father and mother, and they said, They were well. And these messengers said unto Jacob, Rebekah, thy mother has sent us to thee, saying, I have heard, my son, that thy brother Esau has gone forth against thee on the road with men from the children of Seir the Horite. And therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, and see with thy counsel what thou wilt do. And when he cometh up to thee, supplicate him, and do not speak rashly to him, and give him a present from what thou possessest, and from what God has favored with thee. When he asketh thee concerning thy affairs, conceal nothing from him, perhaps that he may turn from his anger against thee, and thou wilt thereby save thy soul, thou and all belonging to thee. For it is thy duty to honor him, for he is thy elder brother. And when Jacob heard the words of his mother, which the messengers had spoken to him, Jacob lifted up his voice and wept bitterly, and did as his mother then commanded him.
Chapter 32. And at that time Jacob sent messengers to his brother Esau toward the land of Seir, and he spoke to him words of supplication. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall you say to my lord, to Esau, Thus say thy servant Jacob, Let not my lord imagine that my father's blessing with which he did bless me has proved beneficial to me. For I have been these 20 years with Laban, and he deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, as it as it has all been already told unto my lord. And I served him in his house very laboriously, and God afterwards saw my affliction, my labor, and the work of my hands, and he caused me to find grace and favor in his sight. And I afterward, through God's great mercy and kindness, acquired oxen and asses and cattle and men servants and maidservants. And now I'm coming to my land and my home to my father and mother, who are in the land of Canaan, and I have sent to let my Lord know all this in order to find favor in the sight of my Lord, so that he may not imagine that I have myself obtained wealth, or that the blessing with which my father blessed me has benefited me. And those messengers went to Esau and found him on the borders of the land of Edom, going toward Jacob. And 400 men of the children of Seir the Horite were standing with drawn swords. And the messengers of Jacob told Esau all the words that Jacob had spoken to them concerning Esau. And Esau answered them with pride and contempt, and said unto them, Surely I have heard, and truly it has been told unto me, what Jacob has done to Laban, who exalted him in his house, and gave him his daughters for wives, and he begat sons and daughters, and abundantly increased in wealth and riches in Laban's house through his means. And when he saw that his wealth was abundant and his riches great, he fled with all belonging to him from Laban's house, and he led Laban's daughters away from the face of their father, as captives taken by the sword without telling him of it. And not only to Laban has Jacob done thus, but also unto me he has done so, and has twice supplanted me. And shall I be silent? Now therefore I have this day come with my camps to meet him, and I will do unto him according to the desire of my heart. And the messengers returned and came to Jacob, and said unto him, We came to thy brother, to Esau, and we told him all thy words, and thus has he answered us. And behold, he cometh to meet thee with 400 men. Now then know and see what thou shalt do, and pray before God to deliver thee from him. And when he heard the words of his brother, which he had spoken to the messengers of Jacob, Jacob was greatly afraid, and he was distressed. And Jacob prayed to the Lord his God, and he said, O Lord God of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, thou didst say unto me when I went away from my father's house, saying, I am the Lord God of thy father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. Unto thee do I give this land, and thy seed after thee. And I will make thy seed as the stars of heaven, and thou shalt spread forth to the four sides of heaven, and in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And thou didst establish thy words, and didst give unto me riches and children and cattle, as the utmost wishes of my heart didst thou give unto thy servant. Thou didst give unto me all that I asked from thee, so that I lacked nothing. And thou didst afterwards say unto me, Return to thy parents and to thy birthplace, and I will still do well with thee. And now that I have come, and thou didst deliver me from Laban, I shall fall in the hands of Esau, who will slay me, yea, together with the mothers of my children. Now therefore, O Lord God, deliver me, I pray thee, also from the hands of my brother Esau, for I am greatly afraid of him. And if there is no righteousness in me, do it for the sake of Abraham and my father Isaac. For I know that through kindness and mercy I have acquired this wealth. Now therefore I beseech thee to deliver me this day with thy kindness, and to answer me. And Jacob ceased praying to the Lord, and he divided the people that were with him, with the flocks and the cattle, into two camps. And he gave the half to the care of Damasek, the son of Eleazar, Abraham's servant, for a camp, with his children, and the other half he gave to the care of his brother Elianas, the son of Eleazar, to be for a camp with his children. And he commanded them, saying, Keep yourselves at a distance with your camps, and do not come too near each other. And if Esau come to one camp and slay it, the other camp at a distance from it will escape him. And Jacob tarried there that night, and during the whole night he gave his servants instructions concerning the forces and his children. And the Lord heard the prayer of Jacob on that day, and the Lord then delivered Jacob from the hands of his brother Esau. And the Lord sent 3 angels of the angels of heaven, and they went before Esau and came to him. And these angels appeared unto Esau and his people as 2,000 men, riding upon horses furnished with all sorts of war instruments. And they appeared in the sight of Esau and all his men to be divided into 4 camps, with 4 chiefs to them. And one camp went on, and they found Esau coming with 400 men towards his brother Jacob. And this camp ran toward Esau and his people and terrified them. And Esau fell off the horse in alarm, and all his men separated from him in that place, for they were greatly afraid. And the whole of the camp shouted after them when they fled from Esau, and all the warlike men answered, saying, Surely we are the servants of Jacob, who is the servant of God, and who then can stand against us? And Esau said unto them, O then, my Lord and brother Jacob is your Lord. whom I have not seen for these 20 years, and now that I have this day come to see him, do you treat me in this manner? And the angels answered him, saying, As the Lord liveth, were not Jacob of whom thou speakest thy brother, we had not let one remaining from thee and thy people, but only on account of Jacob we will do nothing to them. And this camp passed from Esau and his men, and it went away, and Esau and his men had gone from them about a league, when the second camp came toward him with all sorts of weapons, and they also did unto Esau and his men as the first camp had done to them. And when they had left it to go on, behold, the third camp came toward him, and they were all terrified. And Esau fell off the horse, and the whole camp cried out and said, Surely we are the servants of Jacob, who is the servant of God, and who can stand against us? And Esau again answered them, saying, O then, Jacob my lord, and your lord is my brother. And for 20 years I have not seen his countenance, and hearing this day that he was coming, I went this day to meet him. And do you treat me in this manner? And they answered him and said unto him, As the Lord liveth, were not Jacob thy brother, as thou didst say, we had not left a remnant from thee and then thy men, but on account of Jacob, of whom thou speakest being thy brother, we will not meddle with thee or thy men. And the third camp also passed from them, and he still continued his road with his men toward Jacob. When the fourth camp came toward him, and they also did unto him and his men as the others had done. And when Esau beheld the evil which the four angels had done to him and to his men, he became greatly afraid of his brother Jacob, and he went to meet him in peace. And Esau concealed his hatred against Jacob, because he was afraid of his life on account of his brother Jacob, and because he imagined that the four camps that he had lighted upon were Jacob's servants. And Jacob tarried that night with his servants in their camps, and he resolved with his servants to give unto Esau a present from all that he had with him, and from all his property. And Jacob rose up in the morning, he and his men, and they chose from amongst the cattle a present for Esau. And this is the amount of the present which Jacob chose from his flock to give to his brother Esau. And he selected 240 head from the flocks. And he selected from the camels and asses 30 each, and of the herds he chose 50 kine. And he put them all in 10 droves, and he placed each sort by itself, and he delivered them unto the hands of the 10 of his servants, each drove by itself. And he commanded them and said unto them, Keep yourselves at a distance from each other, and put a space between the droves, and when Esau and those who are with him shall meet you and ask you, saying, Whose are you? And whither do you go? And to whom belongeth all this before you? You shall say unto them, We are the servants of Jacob, and we come to meet Esau in peace. And behold, Jacob cometh behind us. And that which is before us is a present sent from Jacob to his brother Esau. And if they shall say unto you, Why doth he delay behind you from coming to meet his brother, and to see his face? Then you shall say unto them, Surely he come joyfully behind us to meet his brother, for he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth to him, and after this I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept me. So the whole present passed on in the hands of his servants, and went before him on that day. And he lodged that night with his camps by the border of the brook of Jabbok. And he rose up in the midst of the night, and he took his wives and his maidservants and all belonging to him, and he that night passed them over the ford of Jabbok. And when he passed all belonging to him over the brook, Jacob was left by himself, and a man met him, and he wrestled with him that night until the breaking of the day. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint through wrestling with him. And at the break of day, the man left Jacob there, And he blessed him and went away. And Jacob passed the brook at the break of day, and he halted upon his thigh. And the sun rose upon him when he had passed the brook, and he came up to the place of his cattle and children. And they went on till midday, and whilst they were going, the present was passing on before them. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was at a distance, coming along with many men, about 400, and Jacob was greatly afraid of his brother. And Jacob hastened and divided his children unto his wives, and his handmaids, and his daughter Dinah he put in a chest, and delivered her into the hands of his servants. And he passed before his children and wives to meet his brother, and he bowed down to the ground. Yea, he bowed down 7 times until he approached his brother. And God caused Jacob to find grace and favor in the sight of Esau and his men, for God had heard the prayer of Jacob. And the fear of Jacob and his terror fell upon his brother Esau, for Esau was greatly afraid of Jacob, for what the angels of God had done to Esau, and Esau's anger against Jacob was turned into kindness. And when Esau saw Jacob running toward him, he also ran toward him, and he embraced him, and he fell upon his neck, and they kissed, and they wept. And God put fear and kindness toward Jacob in the hearts of the men that came with Esau, and they also kissed Jacob and embraced him. And also Eliphaz, the son of Esau, with his 4 brothers, sons of Esau, wept with Jacob, and they kissed him and embraced him, for the fear of Jacob had fallen upon them all. And Esau lifted up his eyes and saw the women with their offspring, the children of Jacob, walking behind Jacob and bowing along the road to Esau. And Esau said unto Jacob, Who are these with thee, my brother? Are they thy children or thy servants? And Jacob answered Esau and said, They are my children, which God hath graciously given to thy servant. And whilst Jacob was speaking to Esau and his men, Esau beheld the whole camp, and he said unto Jacob, Whence did thou get the whole of the camp that I met yesternight? And Jacob said, To find favor in the sight of my Lord, it is that which God graciously gave to thy servant. And the present came before Esau, and Jacob pressed Esau, saying, Take, I pray thee, the present that I have brought to my Lord. And Esau said, Wherefore is this my purpose? Keep that which thou hast done to thyself. And Jacob
Oh, all right, 63. And Jacob said, It is incumbent upon me to give all this, since I have seen thy face, that thou still livest in peace. And Esau refused to take the present. And Jacob said unto him, I beseech thee, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For I have therefore seen thy face, as though I had seen a godlike face, because thou wast pleased with me. And Esau took the present, and Jacob also gave unto Esau silver and gold and bdellium, and he pressed him so much that he took them. And Esau divided the cattle that were in the camp, and he gave the half to the men who had come with him, for they had come on hire, and the other half he delivered into the hands of his children. And the silver and gold and bdellium he gave in the hands of Eliphaz his eldest son. And Esau said unto Jacob, Let us remain with thee, and we will go slowly along with thee until thou comest to my place with me, that they may dwell there together. And Jacob answered his brother and said, I would do as my Lord speaketh unto me, but my Lord knows that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herd with their young who are with me go but slowly. For if they went swiftly, they would all die, for thou knowest their burden and their fatigue. Therefore let my Lord pass on before his servant, and I will go on slowly for the sake of the children and the flock, until I come to my Lord's place to Seir. And Esau said unto Jacob, I will place with thee some of the people that are with me to take care of thee in the road, and to bear thy fatigue and burden. And he said, What needeth it, my Lord, if I may find grace in thy sight? Behold, I will come unto thee to Seir to dwell there together as thou hast spoken. Go thou then with thy people, for I will follow thee. And Jacob said this to Esau in order to remove Esau and his men from him, so that Jacob might afterward go to his father's house to the land of Canaan. And Esau hearkened to the voice of Jacob, and Esau returned with the 400 men that were with him on the road to Seir. And Jacob and all that belonging with him went that day as far as the extremity of the land of Canaan and its borders, and he remained there some time. Chapter 33. And in some time after Jacob went away from the borders of the land, he came to the land of Shalem, which is the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, and he rested in front of the city. And he bought a parcel of the field which was there from the children of Hamor, the people of the land, for 5 shekels. And Jacob there built himself a house, and he pitched his tent there, and he made booths for his cattle. Therefore he called the name of the place Succoth. And Jacob remained in Succoth a year and 6 months. And in that time some of the women of the inhabitants of the land went to the city of Shechem to dance and rejoice with the daughters of the people of the city. And when they went forth, then Rachel and Leah, the wives of Jacob with their families, went also to behold the rejoicing of the daughters of the city. And Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, also went along with them and saw the daughters of the city, and they remained there before these daughters whilst all the people of the city were standing by them to behold their rejoicings, and all the great people of the city were there. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, the prince of the land, was also standing there to see them. And Shechem beheld Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, sitting with her mother before the daughters of the city. And the damsel pleased him greatly. And he there asked his friends and his people, saying, Whose daughter is that sitting amongst the women, whom I do not know in the city? And they said unto him, Surely this is the daughter of Jacob, the son of Isaac the Hebrew, who has dwelt in the city for some time. And that when it was reported that the daughters of the land were going forth to rejoice, she went with her mother and made servants to sit among them, as thou seest. And Shechem beheld Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And when he looked at her, his soul became fixed upon Dinah. And he sent and had her taken by force. And Dinah came to the house of Shechem, and he seized her forcibly and lay with her and humbled her. And he loved her exceedingly and placed her in his house. And they came and told the thing unto Jacob. And when Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Dinah, Jacob sent 12 of his servants to fetch Dinah from the house of Shechem. And they went and came to the house of Shechem to take Dinah from there. And when they came to Shechem, went out with them and his men, and drove them from his house. And he would not suffer them to come before Dinah. But Shechem was sitting in with Dinah, kissing and embracing her before their eyes. And the servants of Jacob came back and told him, saying, When we came, he and his men drove us away, and thus did Shechem do unto Dinah before our eyes. And Jacob knew, moreover, that Shechem had defiled his daughter, but he said nothing. And his sons were feeding his cattle in the field, and Jacob remained silent till their return. And before his sons came home, Jacob sent 2 maidens from his servant's daughter to take care of Dinah in the house of Shechem, and to remain with her. And Shechem sent 3 of his friends to his father Hamor, the son of Chiddekem, the son of Pered, saying, Get me this damsel for a wife. And Hamor, the son of Chiddekem, and the Hivite, came to the house of Shechem his son, and he sat before him. And Hamor said unto his son Shechem, Is there then no woman among the daughters of thy people that thou wilt take, an Hebrew woman who is not of thy people? And Shechem said to him, Her only must thou get for me, for she is delightful in my sight. And Hamor did according to the words of his son, for he was greatly beloved by him. And Hamor went forth to Jacob to commune with him concerning this matter. And when he had gone from the house of his son Shechem, before he came to Jacob to speak with him, behold, the sons of Jacob had come from the field, and soon they had heard the thing that Shechem, the son of Hamor, had done. And the men were very much grieved concerning their sister, and they all came home fired with anger before the time of gathering in their cattle. And they came and sat before their father, and they spoke unto him, kindled with wrath, saying, Surely death is due to this man and to his household, because the Lord God of the whole earth commanded Noah and his children that men shall never rob nor commit adultery, Now, behold, Shechem has both ravaged and committed fornication with our sister, and not one of all the people of the city spoke a word to him. Surely thou knowest and understand that the judgment of death is due to Shechem and to his father and to the whole city on account of the thing which he has done. And whilst they were speaking before his father in this matter, behold, Hamor, the father of Shechem, came to speak to Jacob the words of his son concerning Dinah, and he sat before Jacob and before his sons. And Hamor spoke unto them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her unto him for a wife, and intermarry with us. Give us your daughters, and we will give you our daughters, and you shall dwell with us in our land, and we will be as one people in the land. And for our land is very extensive, so dwell ye and trade therein, and get possessions in it, and do therein as you desire, and no one shall prevent you by saying a word to you. And Hamor ceased speaking unto Jacob with his sons, and behold, Shechem his son had come after him, and he sat before them. And Shechem spoke before Jacob and his son, saying, May I find favor in your sight, that you will give me your daughter, and whatever you say unto me, that I will do for her. Ask me for abundance of dowry and gift, and I will give it, and whatever you say unto me, that will I do. And whoever he be that will rebel against your orders, he shall die. Only give me the damsel for a wife. And Simeon and Levi answered Hamor and Shechem his son deceitfully, saying, All you have spoken unto us we will do for you. And behold, our sister is in your house, but keep away from her until we send our father Isaac concerning this matter, for we can do nothing without his consent. For he that knoweth the ways of our father Abraham, and whatever he saith unto us, we will tell you, and we will conceal nothing from you. And Simeon and Levi spoke this unto Shechem and his father in order to find a pretext and to seek counsel what was to be done to Shechem and to his city in this matter. And when Shechem and his father heard the words of Simeon and Levi, it seemed good unto their sight. And Shechem and his father came forth to go home. And when they had gone, the sons of Jacob said unto their father, saying, Behold, we know that death is due to these wicked ones and to their city, because they transgressed that which God had commanded unto Noah and his children and his seed after them. And also because Shechem did this thing to our sister in defiling her, for such vileness shall never be done among us. Now therefore, know and see what you will do, and seek counsel and pretext what is to be done to them in order to kill all the inhabitants of this city. And Simeon said unto them, Here is proper advice for you. Tell them to circumcise every male among them as we are circumcised, and if they do not wish to do this, we shall take away our daughter from them and go away. And if they consent to do this and will do it, then when they are sunk down with pain, we will attack them with our swords as upon one who is quiet and peaceable, and we will slay every male person among them. And Simeon's advice pleased them, and Simeon and Levi resolved to do unto them as it was proposed. And on the next morning, Shechem and Hamor his father came again to Jacob and to his sons to speak concerning Dinah, and to hear what answer the sons of Jacob would give to their words. And the sons of Jacob spoke deceitfully to them, saying, We told our father Isaac all your words, and your words pleased him. But he spoke unto us, saying, Thus did Abraham his father command him from God, the Lord of the whole earth, that any man who is not of his descendants that should wish to take one of his daughters shall cause every male belonging to him to be circumcised, as we are circumcised, and then we may give him our daughter for a wife. Now we have made known to you all our ways that our father spoke unto us, for we cannot do this of which you spoke unto us, to give our daughters to an uncircumcised man, for it is a disgrace for us. But herein we will consent to you to give you our daughter, and we will also take unto ourselves your daughters, and will dwell amongst you, and be one of the people, as you have spoken. If you will hearken to us, and consent to be like us, to circumcise every male belonging to you, as we are circumcised. And if you will not hearken unto us to have every male circumcised as we are circumcised, as we have been commanded, then we will come to you and take our daughter from you and go away. And Shechem and his father Hamor heard the words of the sons of Jacob, and the thing pleased them exceedingly. And Shechem, his father Hamor, hastened to do all the wishes of the sons of Jacob, and Shechem was very fond of her, riveted to her. And Shechem and his father Hamor hastened to the gates of the city, and they assembled all the men of their city, and spoke unto them the words of the sons of Jacob, saying, We came to these men, the sons of Jacob, and we spoke unto them concerning their daughter, and these men will consent to do according to our wishes, and behold, our land is a great extent for them. And they dwell in it and trade in it, and we shall be one people, and we will take their daughters, and our daughters we will give unto them for wives. But only on this condition will the men consent to do this thing, that every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, as their God commanded them. And when we shall have done according to their instructions to be circumcised, then they will dwell among us, together with their cattle and possessions, and we shall be as one people with them. And when all the men of the city heard the words of Shechem and his father Hamor, and all the men of the city were agreeable to this proposal, and they obeyed to be circumcised, for Shechem and his father Hamor were greatly esteemed by them, being the princes of the land. And on the next day, Shechem and Hamor, his father, rose up early in the morning, and they assembled all the men of their city into the middle of the city, and they called for the sons of Jacob, who circumcised every male belonging to them on that day and the next. And they circumcised Shechem and Hamor with his father, and the 5 brothers of Shechem. And then every one rose up and went home, for this thing was from the Lord against the city of Shechem. And from the Lord was Simeon's counsel in this matter, in order that the Lord might deliver the city of Shechem into the hands of Jacob's 2 sons.
Goodness. Talk about a cliffhanger. It's just, they got to snip the story right there, and then we have to come back to it.
I gotta snip it.
Okay, let's go back to 31, shall we? Okay, so 31. We have Laban being Laban. We have Laban being chicanerous and changing Jacob's wages. Now, just out of curiosity, if ladies, on your wedding night, they insisted on shutting all the lights off, and then you went in and consummated your marriage and woke up in the morning and it was your husband's brother, what would you have to say about that? And they say, well, we can't let the younger one get married before the older one.
I'm glad I married the older brother.
Could have ended up with the uncle.
Oh, something that jumped out to me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, like in verse 10, when they were shouting, "Hey, Leah." Okay.
Uh-huh.
Hey means behold. Behold, Leah. And it goes in there, and in this it says, behold, it was Leah. Well, yeah. Hey means behold.
Yep.
Okay. I know that's silly, but it's just one of those things.
Well, it's it's kind of what you get when you live someplace 7 years and don't learn the language.
Oh, do you think that they spoke a different language?
Well, it was something he didn't understand. It's kind of like if someone from Los Angeles goes into Appalachia.
Bless your heart.
There's going to be some communications breakdown.
I'm fixing to do that.
But sometimes how we we see things going like we're not sure that they should be going, but then we tell ourselves, oh, it's okay, it's not nothing. But then later you find out, yeah, it was something. And I'm thinking this is what Jacob is like doing to himself, you know?
Yeah.
But it all was part of our Father's plan.
Yep. All part of his plan.
Yeah.
What happened here? There we go. Okay. So, yeah, very, very interesting. And then we have the next 7 years to actually be able to marry Rachel. And then, according to this, Isaac sends for him. Isaac sends for Jacob and says, come back home. Was it Isaac or Rebecca?
Rebecca.
So Rebecca says, come back home. Come back home, my baby boy. And and so he says, I need to leave because my mom's calling me. And Laban says, no, just stay another 6 years. Just name your wages. And so then this is where we get the straight goats, right? Spotted and straight, and the brown ones too. That kind of, or the sheep that jumped out at me. The brown goats also. I was thinking, that's interesting. So this, and then of course Yah blesses Jacob in all of this, and this description in verse 41 of the house gods. So basically, Laban's a headhunter, and they do these shrunken head things and put metal in its mouth to make it talk. Yes.
Hey, I got a couple of things. Just backing up real quick first. Okay. On the timing with Jacob and okay. So he married those sisters a week apart. He just added on, they just added on 7 more years to pay. It was like, kind of like buy now, pay later. Okay.
Right.
Okay. But okay.
Finance life.
And then you're bringing up the heads. Okay. Something that kind of jumped out on me was when like they were talking about taking the tablets of gold or copper.
Right. Under the tongue.
Under the tongue. Is that where we get a penny for your thoughts? From the copper penny?
That.
Maybe. So
like,
this is what we're talking about. Right? And they basically give the recipe there to boil down. Oh, wait. There we go. This is what we're talking about. So you can kind of see how, they sew their lips so that whatever they stuff the head with doesn't come pouring out.
okay. Yeah, those are the teraphim, the things that Abraham's father was creating. Terah.
Yep. And they're also bowing down and praying to these decedents.
Ooh.
So very, very interesting there.
Yeah, and they had to be the firstborn.
So
and
it's man. So firstborn man.
Yep.
Okay.
they must have been baby heads, otherwise she couldn't have hidden them. Not
very
even
well.
sitting on a camel.
So you're saying firstborn men have big heads?
Well, they were firstborn son. They
Right.
were
Sacrificed, aborted,
sacrificed. Yeah.
post birth, like
Yes.
we're seeing
Had to
today. People.
Had to be firstborn. Born.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then what does that say about Laban? He makes this agreement that they're not going to hurt or harm each other, but then he sends servants to Esau. Says, here comes your brother that really messed you over. If you want to kill him, this would be a real opportune time.
Mm-hmm.
Although maybe not exactly in those words. Laban's not one of those biblical names you see a lot these days. Lots of Matthews and Jonathans and Marks, and no Labans, though.
Oh, I found some in my family tree.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Does the name bear out?
I don't know because I didn't know them personally.
No. Okay, so let's see here. So we have this bit though of basically it goes into the next chapter, right?
Hey, can we bring up something here?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was giving false accusations. He was accusing Jacob of stealing.
Of ripping him off.
He did not. And he did not take his little idols either. And then Jacob utters idle words when he says, now with whomever thou findest thy gods, he shall die. In other words, whoever stole them, they are cursed now to die. And
what happens?
Rachel died giving birth to Benjamin.
Yep. Ben-Ami.
Yeah, Ben-Ami. Okay. Son of my friend.
Well,
Okay.
isn't it son of sorrow in Hebrew?
Is it?
And then Jacob said, no, we're going to name him Benjamin.
Okay.
So
that's kind of interesting because, like, in French, it's ami, and Latin, it's amigo for friend. Okay.
Right.
Ami.
Well, this is pre-Latin though.
Yes, but I just find it interesting how.
But as an aside, that's what irritates me about all the third grade linguists that we have out there that say, see, because you say this word in English, it's a curse in Hebrew, or because this word in ancient Canaanite means this. When you say it in Hebrew, you're actually saying a curse. And it's like, you know what? Y'all need a belt upside the head. That's like
2x4.
Saying, see, the Son of God is actually sun worship because sun sounds like sun.
Oh,
Spanish, where sun is hijo, and the sun in the sky is sol. How to explain that one, huh? Yeah, your linguistics fell apart. Sorry. Anyways, I'm off track. So let's go to chapter 32. Okay, so then here we have, this is a pretty drawn out account of the confrontation between Jacob and Esau, and it's a little more actually it's a lot more explanation than it has in Genesis, where Jacob breaks up his house into 4 parts with the different mothers, different children, and the different servants and all the belongings. But here we have an account of Yah putting angels out there beforehand and kind of instilling, it says the fear of Jacob here, but I think it's instilling the fear of Yah in Esau and his servants.
Because they're like, yeah, if we weren't servants of your brother, you'd already be dead. If you weren't related to our master, you'd be dead.
Mhm.
So they sent. So there were 4 angels, but they looked like 4,000.
I thought it was 3 angels.
I remember 4.
It's 4.
Lord sent 3 angels of the angels of heaven.
What verse?
28.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was 4 also. But they appeared
But-
4 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they can take on any appearance.
Right?
Because then down in 39, it says, verse 39, when Esau beheld the evil which the 4 angels had done to him and to his men, he became greatly afraid of his brother Jacob, and he went to meet him in peace.
So we were
So,
all right. Someone mistranslated "tre" for "toi."
Well, the thing is it divided all of his men into 4 camps.
Right.
4 camps, right,
Okay.
with 4 chiefs. Mm-hmm.
So this, and I lost the spot where it was. I think it's when Esau was planning this out. He said, we'll go up and we'll just take that, and it'll be our land. And I was thinking, that sounds kind of like modern Esau Edomites. The battle continues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to the 3 or 4.
Okay.
There were 3 camps.
In what verse?
Dun, 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 dun. It's in the 30s.
3 camps besides the one Jacob was in, though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, when they were going up again. Okay.
Oh, right. Third camp, verse 38.
Yeah. So it doesn't say four camps on that.
Yeah, I think
Those
it
were the
means
ones that went. Jacob, I guess, would be considered the 4th camp.
right. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Right.
So this, and what else is this too? Because I mean, eventually it's like, yay, my long lost brother. Boo.
He's so disingenuous.
Well, remember, he had forgotten
No.
about all this until the servants of Laban got there. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm angry at my brother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There had to have been some love there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have that sibling.
Yes, we do. If they showed up at our doorstep and they needed, we would let them in and we would do what needs to be done.
Okay. So this also, let's go to 33.
Oh, look.
Okay.
One
back
more.
to 33.
One more.
One more.
Something I just picked up on here.
Wait.
Okay. You know when it talks about Jacob wrestling all night
Yes.
with supposedly an Elohim or angel or whatever, I'm sorry. A mere mortal man is not going to survive wrestling with an angel. Okay. That makes an angel look weak. And I think here it says a man. And we've got to think about what angel means. It means messenger.
Okay.
And I think that this is more correct by saying he wrestled with a man, a messenger. Okay? That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, come on.
Right.
There's
And
no-
what verse was that in again?
48.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it says, and a man met him.
Uh-huh. But you look in the scriptures, of what we have in Genesis, and it said he wrestled all night with an angel. He wrestled with a messenger, a man.
Right. Well, people don't like to hear it, but King James was commissioned. King James the Sixth of Catholic Scotland was commissioned by the Pope to reunite the churches in England, in the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't like to hear that they're basically reading what was an approved Catholic translation.
Yeah, a slant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the book of James is actually the book of Jacob. So
Yeah, they changed the name.
you could give King James a little pat on the back there,
Oh, there's
Good
other
King
stuff.
James.
That's for another episode. So let's go to 33.
Okay.
And we have Shechem. This is a little bit more explanatory. Taking Dinah by force. So
She
raping
was
her.
12 years old.
That is not a good thing.
How old do you think he was? It never says.
No. Well, he's kind of a footnote too. So
Pretty significant footnote.
right.
He was circumcised out.
Yeah. My reaction the last time we did this was enough. We don't know how drastic they did that.
Well, you know what? we got left off, but it's okay. In that, so what about this plan? Because in Genesis it says basically it's just Simeon and Levi. Here we're getting a picture that Simeon and Levi got everyone all riled up and said, we need to do this to show people. Well, basically they want to enforce the law as it was given to Noah.
Yeah, and about that time, they were around the ages of 18 and 19. Okay?
So their little sister.
Yeah. Not only did Shechem do this disgusting thing, perverse, but kidnapped, okay? Kidnapping is a deadly, that's an offense that
No men's
requires death. They consulted with Isaac before they did this.
Better listen to your grandfather.
And this was stuff that was handed down from Noah.
Yeah. Yep. And then we stopped just after the mass circumcision that took 2 days.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's not a job I would be looking forward to.
Tune in next week.
Okay, I have another thought here.
Okay.
Okay, in verse 43, when it's talking about, like they're not to give their daughters to an uncircumcised man.
Yeah.
For it is a disgrace to us. I think that is the reason that the rabbinicals do not accept Esther, because she married, what was his name? But anyway, the Assyrian or whatever. I think it's because she was a daughter of Judah. Wasn't it Judah?
Yeah.
Wasn't she?
She was. It was during the captivity.
Yes, and she married basically a Gentile. He was a king, but he was a Gentile, and
Right.
they don't want that.
Yep. Ahasuerus.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought you were going to say bless you.
Bless
Ahasuerus.
you. Okay. You mean like Fort Sneeze or whatever it is?
Yeah. So,
Machuca. Machuca.
all very good noting.
Good job.
All right. So we got that set up for next time. And I suppose that's it. Any other notations on today's reading? I see both of you feverishly looking at your footnotes.
Well, I was putting down new thoughts that I was having this time through, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for reading GR and thank you for reading Lynn. Thank you everybody for showing up. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you want to get into these other books, you can go to sacred-texts.com and check out what they have. But make sure you use discernment because they got a lot there. A lot. Okay. Anyways, everybody, muchas gracias. We'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.